Good day to all the attendees, to all the people who are watching this. Today I'm going to be talking about leading in a time of crisis. Crises have a way of happening in our lives. They may range from climate change to political upheavals to natural, health, or economic disasters. Each crisis befalls with a purpose to teach us something: how to be hygienic, importance of building earthquake resistant homes and buildings, significance of health insurance, hedging investments, and so on and so forth. Life is a very good teacher. It patiently keeps on reminding us, like a good teacher, until we have finally learned the lesson. It keeps on repeating the lesson until we have learned it. The crisis disappears once we do so. As business leaders, as teachers, seniors, head of the family, or supervisors, it is important to lead during a crisis, to provide thought and direction. It is obviously true that the crisis was neither created by us nor can we do anything to avert it. We must accept the situation as it is and then think of the future plan of action, the way forward. We must accept the situation and think what we can do, how we can make the best of the situation, both as an individual and as a leader, and then act. A very good example of leading in the times of crisis is presented to us by Lord Krishna in our holy scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna gave advice to Arjun in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjun is faced with two choices. One choice is bad and the other choice is worse. And he has to make a choice. The first choice was that he leaves the battlefield and runs away and be declared a coward for the rest of his life and in history. And the worst choice was that he kills his kin, his uncles, his cousins, his relatives. He fights with them, and so these are the two choices and he didn't know what to do. And then that is when Lord Krishna told him, he said, Arjun, accept the situation. Whatever situation you are in, it is not your creation. Accept it. What is, is. In times of today, we are in a situation and we have to accept the situation. What is. It is not going to go away by wishing or by hoping for a miracle. It is not. What is, is. Then he tells Arjun to act in a manner that is suited to the occasion, suited to the situation. He urges Arjun to not curse the situation, to not complain, feel sad, or wish it away, or wish for a different past. Simply put the best foot forward at any given point of time and take steps to the best course of action. This is what he said. He also tells Arjun to not fixate on the end result. You see, the result is not in our control. The future is not in our control. The past is not in our control. What is in our control is the present moment. So during crisis, we should come into the present moment and think of things that we can do given the situations. So he said that do not fixate on the end result, and that neither the past nor the future is in your control. Focus on what you can control, and that is the present, and then do your best. Abhinav Bindra, the winner of gold medal in shooting, he won the gold medal for India in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. He knew that he had to achieve a score of 10.8 in his final shot to win the gold. Either that or nothing. He gave all his concentration and being in the present moment to that last shot and emerged successful. Do or die. He had understood that his previous poor score did not matter. It did not matter if he won or lost. Neither the past was in his control, nor was the future, nor the results. At the present moment of taking the last shot, then, all that mattered to him was that he must score 10.8, even if it appeared impossible. It was his duty as ambassador of India to bring laurels to the country, to India, or to die trying. He accepted it and acted accordingly. Quite similar to the number of runs that are required by the batsman in the last over of his T20 match to win. So if you need a certain number of runs to win in the last over, you need them. And you have to act in a way that you achieve the goal or you lose. So, and nobody wants to lose, nobody likes to lose. So we have to accept the situation as it is and move forward from there. There is a parable of the golfer and the beer can. Similar story about the golfer and the beer can. An important golf tournament was going on, and fellow competitors were drinking beer. This was irritating to the competitor who had practiced the whole year for that tournament. But he kept his thoughts to himself. He did not say anything to them. When his turn came, he hit the ball. He hit the ball, which flew to its destination accurately. But when the ball landed on the ground, instead of landing on the ground, it landed on a stray beer can and got deflected into a sand pit nearby. In this situation, all that the golfer can do is walk into the pit, take a deep breath, walk up to the ball, establish a strategy, forget the beer can, forget winning, just look at the job in front of him and do his best. That is all that he must do in order to win. Complaining, cursing, and feeling sad are not going to help him at all. One has to accept the inevitable situation and carve out the best course of action from there. This course of action will be way different from when the situation is normal and non-critical. There was a crisis in the flight kitchen that I was a chef in about 25 years ago. You see, in my 35 years of experience, I have faced quite a few crises in life. And the purpose of making this video today is to contribute to the society that in times of crisis all is not lost. So I was talking about this crisis in the flight kitchen that I was there 25 years ago. We lost our contract to cater to the aircrafts of Gulf Air to a competitor. It was an enormous and sudden loss of business for our unit. I was told, as the executive chef, I was told to lay off innumerous chefs overnight. I had to ask them to leave, terminate their jobs suddenly. After 2 sleepless nights and seeking guidance of experts and elders, I came to the conclusion that whatever has to be done must be done. Before doing anything, one must ask themselves the following 2 questions though. One, did I do what I thought was right? And second, did I do my best? Did I do what I thought was right? That is the first question. And the second question is, did I do my best? So I asked myself these questions. The answer was yes, I must fire chefs and I must create that list with all the diligence. I must retain the best ones and I must give it my best shot. So then, with a heavy heart, but with sufficient clarity, I did submit a long list of chefs that were to be fired immediately. Tough decisions need to be taken while conducting a business. Most of these chefs were rehired by us within the next 6 months when business boomed again. But that is another story. However, a lesson learned by me recently was that in such disastrous situations, the blow of the crisis may be softened by offering a choice of pay cut or salary adjustment to the employees. Once we let go of our employees, the morale of the entire team lowers considerably. This invariably led to deterioration of their output and an immeasurable loss of business. The bitterness of the chefs who were rehired by us was clearly evident in their significantly lower sense of loyalty to the company. Termination of employees during crisis must be avoided as far as possible. As manager, leader, supervisor, teacher, or senior member of a team, or just as an elder in the house, ask your subordinates the following 6 questions at least once a year. Ask your people these following 6 questions at least once a year. The first question, where are we going as an organization? Second, where do you think you are going? Third, what are you most proud of on your job? Fourth, what are your suggestions for the future? If you are your own coach, if you were your own coach, what advice would you give yourself? Fifth question, how can I help? And the sixth question, what suggestions do you have for me? So where do you think the organization is going? Where are you going? What are you most proud of on your job? What are the suggestions for the future? How can I help? What suggestions do you have for me? These 6 questions. The answer to these questions will give them and give you great insights. These will most definitely lead to your success as a leader. These 6 questions have been tried and tested successfully by innumerous management gurus in the past. In difficult times, focus on what you can do. Strive to make the world a better place. Be positive in your mind. Do not panic and make positive difference to the world. Do not blame, criticize, or fret. You see, the biggest killer today is stress. Do not stress. Be calm, compose yourself, breathe, think, strategize, assess the situation, and act. Take the step. Do not get depressed and fall into the spiraling loop of inactivity. IHM Meerut was the first hotel management institute that started online classes from March 24th after the lockdown was declared on March 22nd, 2020. The management of the institute realized that it was a choice between resigning to the crisis or taking immediate, alternative, proactive steps and chose the latter almost immediately. Since March 24th till date, the institute is holding regular online classes for all of its students. And institute has organized 56 interclass, intercollege, national and international webinars and workshops in an effort to provide a wholesome education to its students. The faculty who were shy of technology till March soon became masters in conducting online education programs and thus led happy and satisfactory lives during all of these crisis months because of the initiative taken by the institute. The 4 lessons learned here while facing this type of crisis are: number one, be positive in your mind. The only way forward is onward. That is the only way forward, onward. Number two, do not panic. Panicking will only make things worse. Number three, provide clarity to the team. Provide clarity to the team. And the last point, optimism. Show them the light at the end of the tunnel. Find the light and show it to them. There were 3 stonecutters once upon a time who were asked about what they thought about their job, about the work that they were doing. The first one said that he was doing a worthless job of cutting stones. The second said, it was slightly better. The second said that he was doing a fabulous job of shaping stones. He was doing a fabulous job of shaping stones so that they become building blocks. And the best answer was given by the third one, that he was building a cathedral. That is the power of positive thinking. Every person who's helping the team achieve organizational objectives in any way is indispensable and important. Make all your colleagues and subordinates understand the value of positive attitude. The upside of handling your team during difficult times is that people tend to fall in line quicker when they sense an impending or existing crisis. Whenever people feel that something is wrong or something is bad or something bad is going to happen, they suddenly become very attentive. A tiny whisper by the leader becomes like a scream. Many grudges and previous matters of discontent lose their significance almost instantly. The teams become knit more strongly than ever before, and all team members suddenly become very attentive and cooperative. Discipline levels among the members of the staff rise significantly. Bad behavior disappears, and the erstwhile ridiculous targets become easy to achieve. Also, during situations of work from home or work from anywhere, the employee efficiency increases manifold. The time lost in commuting, lunch breaks, and dressing up, etc., is now insignificant. If you look at the times before the 22nd of March, we used to spend so much time in traveling and in dressing up and in lunch breaks and in tea breaks, and now all that we are saving. We are saving a lot of time, and we can contribute a lot more towards our organization. As a senior member of your team, think of the bright spots. I'm talking about optimism, the last fourth point. As a senior member of your team, think of the bright spots, the light at the end of the tunnel. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. You have to find it and show it to your people. Provide clarity and optimism to the team, to your team. If they can see it, it becomes easier for them to strive to reach it. Be optimistic, but face reality. This is known as pragmatic optimism, dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. Do not sugarcoat the crisis. Do not falsify the crisis or lie about it. The situation that you are in is a reality. Nothing can change that. Accept the reality of the moment and ask yourself the question, how can I make the best of it? And act accordingly immediately. Time is very perishable. All time lost is lost forever, cannot be regained. While leading, it is important for us to understand that we do not have to appear smart. We do not have to win debates or arguments or prove to anybody that we are right. What's most important is that we should change what we can and make peace with what we cannot. We should change what we can and we should make peace with what we cannot. If your idea does not make a positive difference to the world or add value to your organization, then shut up. Be quiet. Seek answers from the 6 questions that you had asked your team members, or ask them to give voice to their thoughts in the group. Life is too short to argue just for the sake of argument. Criticizing Dhoni, Virat Kohli, Modi, or Trump, or any other great person is not going to change them. As much as you criticize them, they are not going to change. They're going to be as they are. Stop wasting time criticizing others. Instead, adopt the principle of Mahatma Gandhi, teaching by example. Practice what you preach. Speak only when you feel that you will be making a positive difference to the world. If you criticize your boss or previous employer before your team, do not expect them to talk well about you behind your back. If you ill treat your parents, be prepared that your children will follow the same example. Before you offer your advice, breathe and ask yourself the questions: am I right? And will my thought make a positive difference or not? Ask these two questions: am I right? Will my thought make a positive difference or not? Be honest. Proceed only if the answer to both these questions is yes. Just being right is not enough. Seek help if there is doubt. It does not matter whether you are the CEO of a company or the president of a country. All of us are human beings. All of us need help. Working in the hospitality, Bollywood, and most of the service industry is akin to working on the stage. A famous word used here is showtime. The other word frequently used for personnel is professionals. Act like a leader. If you are incapable as a leader, follow. If you can neither lead nor follow during a crisis, get out of the way. Nobody is under any moral, social, or ethical obligation to inform if they have a headache or a personal emergency at home. Whatever your personal circumstances are, please forget them on the job. Act like a professional. The show must go on regardless of our personal circumstances. Ignore all else except the work at hand, the present moment. In the professional world of showmanship, there is zero tolerance for personal feelings or bad behavior. Zero tolerance for personal feelings or bad behavior. No jokes, cynicism, use of cell phones, disrespect towards your fellow team members, carelessness, improper appearance of any sort, or any kind of indiscipline. Any personnel who does not understand or follows this must be shown the mirror. Sit with him and give him a chance to fall back in line. If that does not work, fire him and set a notable precedence for the entire team.